Hello everyone, I am Dr. Mary Swanlata, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today I am going to discuss about the OBE and the basic concepts of mathematics for computing. First, we'll see what this course indicates. So the course is mathematics for computing is mainly used in to acquire the knowledge in computing that will be used for computer science and applications. And the main objective of this course is it mainly focuses on basic number systems and conversions, proportional logic, predicate logic, relations, functions and lattices, algebraic system, permutations and combinations, counting principles and recurrence relations. And what are the objectives of this course? Why the student has to learn this course? The main objectives of this course are the students try to learn the fundamental knowledge of statement notations and logical connectives which are used to convert English sentences into logical expressions. So usually we'll have the informal in the English sentences. So if you want to provide the mathematical equations for that, then you have to use the mathematical logical functions. And the second one is the students will try to learn the effective use of combinatorial principles for calculating the probabilities and solving the counting problems. So for example, in some applications, we require the probability of getting the chancing of an event. So if you want to find out that probability, then you can use a combination topic. Similarly, if you want to count the number of occurrence of the event, then also you can use this probability and combination concept. And next one is the students will try to learn and relate practical examples to the functions and relations and interpret the associated operations and terminology used in the context. It means the students try to learn the concepts of functions. What is a function and what are the different types of functions are having and what is a relation and what are the different types of relations. All these concepts will be learned and these concepts can be applied in the computer science and applications. And also the students will try to learn the characteristics of generating functions for finding the solution of linear homogeneous recurrence relation. So in order to find out the solution of this type of equations, so you are using the concept of what? Generating functions. And the next one is the course outcomes. Course outcomes is nothing but after learning this course, what the students can able to do. So they are called as what? Course outcomes. Therefore, at the end of this course, the students is able to make use of the number systems and converting decimal to binary, octal and hexadecimal and also gray code to binary and binary to gray code. It means the students can be able to understand and the number systems basics as well as after learning these basics, he can be able to use out his number systems in various computer science and applications as well as he can be able to convert from one number system into another number system. And second one, the students will be able to demonstrate notations for reformulating statements in formal logic and validating normal forms. It means the sentences, the English sentences can be converted into what? The mathematical logical functions. And you can validate these functions by using the predicate logics. And the students will be able to demonstrate operations on discrete mathematical structures like sets, functions, lattices for representing the relations among them. So in order to know the concept, after knowing the concept of relation, types of relation, the students can be able to use these concepts like sets, functions and lattices. So in mathematical functions. And the next one is the students will be able to illustrate the concept of rings, integral domains and field structures with binary operations defined on them. And next one is the students will be able to apply the addition rule and subtraction rule, substitution rule for solving the problems of combinatory. It means in order to solve the probability of getting the events, to be occurred and the counting problems, you can use this addition rule as well as the substitution rule. So these can be applied to solve the problems of combinations. And similarly, the students is able to develop solutions for recurrence relation as well as the generating functions to obtain the terms of equations. So these are the concepts. After learning the concept of this mathematics for computing, the students can be able to solve the number systems, and he can apply these number systems in solving the computer science application. Similarly, he can be able to convert the English sentences into the formal logic, and he can be able to validate these logic statements. And similarly, the students can be able to operate on different operations like sets, functions, and lattices. So for representing the relations among them. And also students can be able to illustrate the concepts of rings, integral domains, and field structures with binary operations. The binary operation is nothing but what? The binary addition, subtraction, multiplication. These are called as what? Binary operations. And similarly, the students can be able to apply the addition rule as well as the substitution rule in order to solve the problems on combinations like the probability problems as well as the counting principle problems. And the students can be able to develop solutions for recurrence relations and generating functions to obtain the terms of equations. Now, coming to the course content. The first module discusses about the number system. In this module, we are going to discuss about the basics of number systems and what are the numbers in base 10, the binary number system, and then characterized number based number system, and octal number system, hexadecimal number system, and converting decimal to binary and octal and hexadecimal system. And similarly, we are going to learn about the gray code and also converting the gray code to binary as well as binary to gray code. So all the concepts related to the number system will be discussed in the first module. And coming to the second module will discuss about the mathematical logic functions. So what the mathematical logic functions having? You're having the proportion logic as well as the predicate logic. So in these concepts, we are going to discuss about what is a statement and what is the notation of this statement, characteristics, truth tables, tautologies, and then equivalence formulas, tautological implications, normal forms, theory of inference for statement calculus, consistency of premises, indirect method of proof, predicative logic, as well as the statement functions. So these topics will be discussed in the mathematical logic. And coming to the third module, relations, functions, and lattices. So the relations, functions, and lattices. First, we'll see what is a. Before going to the topic relations, functions, and lattices, first discuss about set. What is a set? What is the representation of sets? And what are the different operations can perform the sets? That will be discussed first. After discussing that, then we'll move to the relation concept. So we'll see what is a relation and what is a binary relation and what are the different operations that can perform in the relations. That will be discussed. And the types of relations will be discussed here. So after completing this, then we'll go for what? Compatibility and partial ordering of relations. In that, we are going to discuss about what? Hash diagram. So after completing these relations, then we'll move to the lattices. So the lattices, we are going to discuss about lowest upper bound and greatest lower bound. So these two topics will be discussed here. So after completing the lattices, then we are moving to the concept of functions. So in the functions, we'll see what is the function, what are the types of functions, and what are the composition of functions, and what are the inverse functions. These topics will be discussed in the third module. And coming to the fourth module, we are discussing about the algebraic structures as well as the combinatorics. So the first part contains about the algebraic structures and the second part contains the combinations. So in the algebraic structures, we are going to discuss about algebraic system, examples and general properties of algebraic system, semigroups, monoids, groups and subgroups, homomorphism, isomorphism, and rings. So these topics are related to algebraic system. And coming to the second half here, combinatorics. So in the combinatorics, we are going to discuss about the fundamental counting principle, permutations, and then combinations, and permutations and combinations without repetition study as well as with repetitions we'll study. Then we'll study the theorems on this probability like binomial theorem, multinomial theorem, and generalized inclusion-exclusion principle. So these topics will be discussed in the fourth module. And coming to the fifth module discusses about the recurrence relation. So in the recurrence relation, we will study about the generating functions, functions of sequence, calculating the coefficient of generating function, as well as the recurrence relation, and solving these recurrence relations by using the methods like the substitution method as well as the generating function, and a characteristics root and the solution of homogeneous recurrence relations. These topics will be discussed in the 5th module. This is about the overall course content of this course. And coming to the textbooks we are following the textbook we are following the first textbook is Discrete Mathematical Structures with Applications to Computer Science by Tremblay and R. Manohar. And the second textbook we are following is Discrete Mathematics for Computer Scientists and Mathematicians by Joel Mott and Abraham Candle, etc. And coming to the reference books, so we have referred the books like Discrete Mathematics and Its Applications by Kenneth Rosen, as well as the Elements of Discrete Mathematics by D. Mahapatra, and Discrete and Combinational Mathematics and Applied Induction by Ralph P. So these are the reference textbooks we are going to follow. And coming to the course overview. So the first module will discuss about the number system. So what is number system and what are the different types of number systems they are having, and the number system conversion. Nothing but you have to convert the numbers from one number base to another number base system. So these topics will be discussed in the first module. So the number system uses what? Different number bases. So what do you mean by number base? So number base is nothing but what? How many different digits are available when you are using a particular numbering system. For example, you are using a decimal number system. For example, you are using a decimal number system. So in this number system, what is a decimal base here? So here, what is a number base? Nothing but what? 10 is a number base. It means in this decimal number system, how many number of digits are you going to use? 10 number of digits. So the 10 number of digits here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Totally, how many digits can here? 10 digits can be used here in the decimal number system. For example, if you have the number like 568. So in this, how many out of these 10 digits, how many digits are using here? 5, 6, 8 only. It means only the numbers are found with the numbers from digits from 0 to 9 only. Out of that, you cannot use it. That is nothing but what? Decimal number system. And the next type of number system is what? Binary number system. So binary, nothing but what? 2. So what is the number base here? 2. Deci means what? 10. Therefore, what is its number base is equals to 10. And the binary number system uses 2 digits. What are the 2 digits here? Only 0 and 1. So therefore, the number base for this binary number system nothing but what? 2. And what how many number of digits you are using here? 2 digits. And what are the digits you are using here? 0 and 1. It means any number using our binary number system, we just only these 2 digits. For example, here, so 11011101. So this is what? A binary number, and which is represented in which digit here? The number base of this is nothing but here 2. It means it is using the number has been formed only with the 2 digits 0 and 1 only. Therefore, the different number bases are needed for what? Different purposes. So the humans that uses what? The decimal number system, whereas the computers will use the binary number system. And for example, if you have the number 78 here, so what is this 78 in decimal? Nothing but her base 10. So the decimal number system, what is the base here? 10. Therefore, for this number, how many digits require here? 2 digits have been used out of 0 to 9. You are using how many digits here? 2 digits here. Similar, this is example of a number which is represented in the binary number system, where the binary number system uses only 2 digits, either 0 or 1 only. And for example, the number in the decimal number system is 78. And the same number in the binary number system, if you convert, so what is represented is nothing but 1001110. How to convert the decimal to binary means what will you do? You will divide the equation 78 by 2. So then nothing but what? Here 39. And what is remaining here? 0 is a remainder. And then 39 divided by 2, that gives 19, and the remainder is what here? 1. And similarly, 2 divided by 90, nothing but what here? The remainder is what? 1. And 9 divided by 2, nothing but what? The quotient is 4, and the remaining is what here? 1. Similarly, 4 divided by 2, the remainder is 0, the quotient is 0. quotient is 2 and the remainder is 0. Similarly, 2 divided by 2, nothing but the quotient is 1 and the remainder is 0. And here, after that, 2 divided by 1, nothing but what? What is the quotient is 0 and the remainder is what? 1. Now write from bottom to top. Then what is the number here? 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. So like that, you are going to convert a decimal number system, the number into what? The number in the binary number system. And if you observe here, the same number 78 in the decimal number system requires only 2 digits. It requires to represent. Whereas the same value in order to represent in the binary number system, how many number of digits require here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It means it requires 7 digits. So therefore, what is happening here? The large numbers are very long binary numbers are needed to present the numbers from decimal to binary. So in order to solve this problem, what you are using? You are using other number based system. For example, if you are using the hexadecimal system. So if you use the hexadecimal system, then how many number of digits it is using? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10 is represented by A and 11 is represented by B and 12 is represented by C, 13 by D, 14 by E and 15 by what? F. So these are the digits that can be used in the hexadecimal system. Now, if you want to present the same number 78 from decimal into what? Hexadecimal system. Then how do you solve this problem? So 78 divided by what? 16 here. Then you are going to get, so 16, 64 and the remainder is 16. So here the quotient is what? 4 and the remainder is here 16. And so 16 zeros are, and what is the remainder here? So you should go for 16 fives are. Okay, here 12. Okay, and here 4, 12. What is 12 here? So this is 10, 11, 12. 12 is nothing but what? C. So 4C. It means the same number 78 in decimal is what? 78 and hexadecimal nothing but what? 4C. In the binary nothing but what? 100, Therefore, to avoid the problem of the numbers which is requires more number of digits to the numbers, we are going to use what? The other number based systems like hexadecimal system. And coming to the second unit here, the mathematical logic. So what is mathematical logic? The mathematical logic is nothing but it is a study of what? The formal logic within the mathematics. And the rules of the mathematical logic specify methods of reasoning mathematical statements. What does it mean here? And mathematical logic nothing but what? For example, you're having some sentences like it is raining and the temperature is, let us say here that today the temperature is 36 degrees centigrade. So like that what these English sentences we are converting into what? The mathematical functions. So the study of this is called as what? Mathematical logic. And this mathematical logic is having many practical applications in computer science like where the designing of computing machines, artificial intelligence, definition of data structures, and all these applications you can use this mathematical logic. And this mathematical logic can be broadly categorized into 3 categories. What are they? One is propositional logic, and the other one is predicate logic, and the last one is what? Rules of inferences. So now what is propositional logic? The propositional logic is considered the statements to which the truth values either the value may be true or the value may be false can be assigned. For example, if you are taking here the proposition man is mortal. So man is mortal nothing but what? It returns a true value or it returns what? False value. Similarly, for example, if you take the second one, so 12 plus 9 is equals to what? 3 minus 2. So what is the 12 plus 9? 21. And what is 3 minus 3 equals to what? 21 is equals to 2. So this is what? False. So therefore, what is the propositional logic? The propositional logic concerned with the statements where the statements are leading to either true or false values. That is called as what? Propositional logic. For example, if you take this example, A is less than 2. So here, can you tell A is less than 2 is a true or returns for true or false value? You can't say. Until unless you specify the value for A, you cannot say that the statement A is less than 2, it returns true or false. Therefore, this is not a propositional statement. And these are the examples of what? Propositional statements. And next, coming to the predicate logic. The predicate logic deals with what? The predicates which are propositions containing what? Variables. What does it mean? For example, if you take this is one predicate. So what does it consist of? It consists of variable. How many number of variables? It consists of two variables, x and y. And what is the equation here? X equals to y. So this is called as what? One predicate. Similarly, so this is x of a comma b comma c. What is the predicate here? X of a comma b comma c is consists of what? The variables. And what is the relation among these variables? Such that a plus b plus c equals to 0. That is the relation among these variables. And what is one more predicate here? M of x comma y. So where x comma y, how they are related? X is married to y. Therefore, these are the examples of what? Predicate statements. And coming to the rules of inference. What is the rules of inference? Already having the statements where the truth value has been known. For example, that statements may be true or the statement may be false. So from those list of statements, what you're doing? You're deducing the new statement by using what? Rules of inference. So this is called as what? Rules of inference. What is rules of inference? The rules of inference are used to deduce new statements from the statements which are already known, whose truth value will be known. This is called as what? Rules of inference. And these rules of inference provide the templates or guidelines for constructing valid arguments from the statements that we already have. Already will have a set of statements. From those set of statements, what you have to do? You have to draw a conclusion. That is called as what? Rules of inference. And coming to the third unit, third module is about what? Relations, functions, and lattices. So what is the third? Is a relation. So before getting the relation, first what you are seeing here? Set. What the set? Set is nothing but what? It consists of a ordered pair of elements. There is nothing but what? Set. For example, you have two sets x comma y. And what is the Cartesian product of these two sets? Represented by x cross y. Where what is x equals here? A comma b comma c, and the elements of y nothing but what? 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. What they said? Set is nothing but what? Collection of ordered elements. That is nothing but what? Here set. And what is the Cartesian product of x cross s? Nothing but here a is related to a. So a comma b, a comma c. Similarly, b comma b, b comma a, b comma c. And similarly, c comma c, c comma a, and c comma b. So these are the Cartesian product of x cross y. Similarly, what is the Cartesian product of x cross y? X to y. Nothing but what? A comma 1, a comma 2, a comma 3, a comma 4. Similarly, b comma 1, b comma 2, b comma 3, b comma 4, and then c comma 1, c comma 2, c comma 3, and c comma 4. Like that, we can write down the Cartesian product of two sets. Now, from this Cartesian product, we are going to say the definition of relation. Now, what is the relation here? The relation are from x to y. What is x here? X is a set and y is what? One more set. So, if you want to relate a relation R from the set x to the set y, then it is defined as what is called as what? A subset of the Cartesian product of x cross y. Nothing but what is a collection of what? Certain ordered pairs. Not all the pairs, only certain ordered pair. That is called as what? Relation. Therefore, if you want to write the relation from set x to set y, then how do you present here? X R of y. So x is related to y. It means what? X comma y belongs to what? R. Where what is the relation here? R is a subset of what? The Cartesian product. So for example, if you have the set A and set B, so the set of elements in A are what? Minus 1, 0, 1, 2. The set of elements in B are what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then, if you want to find out the relation from A to B, and with the relation here, A square is equals to B. This is called as what? Relation. Now, how do you represent this relation? So, what is the first element here? Minus 1. So, for minus 1 square. What is the minus of 1 square? What is 1 here? B. Okay, so and minus 1 square nothing but what? 1 here. And 0 square nothing but what here? 0. And what is 1 square nothing but what? 1. And what is 2 square is equals to what? 4. So this is what? The relation from A to B. And what the relation here? A square is equals to what? B. So what is A here? Minus 1. And what is A square? So minus 1 square nothing but what? 1. And similarly 0. What is 0 square equals to 0. And what is the next element here? 1. And what is 1 square is equals to 1. And what is the next element here? 2. So for 2 square, what is 2 square is equals to 4. This is called as what? One relation from A to B, where the relation is equals to what? A square is equals to B. So this is what? A subset of A cross B. This is a subset of what? A cross B. What is A cross B here? Or you write down A cross B here. That is nothing but what? First minus 1 comma 0, minus 1 comma 1, minus 1 comma 2, minus 1 comma 3, minus 1 comma 4. Similarly 0 comma 0, 0 comma 1, 0 comma 2, 0 comma 3, 0 comma 4 and so on. We write down the set here. So the Cartesian product here. And this relation R is what? A subset of this Cartesian product. That is the definition of what? Relation. And next, introduction to the functions. What is the function here? A function is also a special type of relation. What is a relation? So relation is what? Subset of the Cartesian product. And what is a function? Function is what? A special type of relation only. So a function is what? Set of a special type of relation only. But the relation is considered as function in what condition? If each element of the domain belongs to only one order pair in the relation, then it is considered as what? The relation is called as what? Function. What does it mean here? What is the property here? For each A belongs to A, there is only one and only B belongs to B. Then only that relation is called as what? Function. Here it is not required. For each A belongs to A is not required. Only one B belongs to B. But here, what is the function here? For each A belongs to A, there should be exist only one function B belongs to B. Then that relation is called as what? Function. And introduction to the combination. The next module discuss about the combinations like the permutations and combinations, where these permutations and combinations are used for counting the number of elements and to decide whether the particular criteria can be fulfilled, analyzing the elements, and you have to identify the greatest element, smallest element and optimal element. So for this using what? Combinatorics topic. And the next module will discuss about the recurrence relation. So what is a recurrence relation? A recurrence relation is a way of recursively defining the terms of sequence as a function of the preceding terms together with certain initial condition. Then that is called as what? Recurrence relation. What does it mean here? For example, you are taking the recurrence relation an is equals to what? 3 plus 2 into an minus 1. Where what is n value is equals to greater than or equals to 1. And what is the initial condition here? They are given a naught is equals to 1. Therefore, the recurrence relation, what is the first value is equals to 1. And how do you find out the next value? A1 is equals to 3 plus 2 into what is n value here? So, 2 into a naught. So, that equals to 3 plus 2 into what is a naught value? 1. That equals to what? 5. What is the next value here? 5. And to find out the next value, you require what? The preceding term. What is the preceding term here? 3 plus 2 into a of n minus 1. What is 2 minus 1 equals to 1? That equals to what? 3 plus 2 into 5. That equals to what? 13. That equals to 13. Like that, what is recurrence relation? Recurrence relation is a way of recursively defining the terms of sequence, where the function is consist of what? The preceding terms together with the initial condition. That is called as what? The recurrence relation. The next term can be found. The next term can be found from the preceding term. That is called as what? Recurrence relation. So today we have discussed about what is the concepts you have having the mathematics for computing, and briefly we have overviewed the concepts of mathematics for computing. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.